Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. How's that for a meaningless sounding cliche-ish thing that people can throw out there? Well, let me give you a completely different perspective on that otherwise meaningless cliche. So with so much depth and meaning that it could possibly reshape the rest of your life from here to forever. So what I mean by that is, well, think about your trajectory, where you're going to be a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Have you put any thought into that? I would. I would definitely put some thought into that. If you're pretty happy with where things are now and where things are going, keep doing what you're doing. If you're not very happy, which is about 95, 98% of you, there's a lot of polling data on this, but it's always over 90%. People are not very happy with where they're at right now, and they're certainly not happy with where they're going to be a year from now, 5 years, 10 years from now, and so forth. So do an audit of what you've been doing with your time and what's necessary and what isn't necessary. And once you do that audit, you're going to find that you're doing things that you weren't even aware of until you start writing it down on paper and crystallizing it rather than just thinking about it in your brain. Here's one of the most awesome homework assignments I was ever given, and this was like well over 10 years ago, I would say over a decade ago. You take out a sheet of paper, you draw a line down the center, and on the left side you write down what your top priorities are, and then on the right side you write down what you're actually doing with your time, and you write everything down. So on the left side, your top priorities, it's going to be a very short list of things. It could be family. If you have a spiritual side, it could be financial because you have to pay the bills and so forth, right? It's going to be a very short list. And then on the right side of what you're actually doing, it's going to be a very long list. And you audit your entire day, write it all down. And you can even do this with what you're spending money on too. And you're going to find, for most people, for the overwhelming majority of people, there's a lot of pork, so to speak. So draw a line from the right column of things you're actually doing to what it lines up with on the left column. And that's the whole key to making this thing work. One, being honest with what you're actually doing with all your time and money and so forth. And then drawing those lines. And if there's no line to be drawn to what your priority is, get rid of that activity, that expenditure, that waste of time. And it could be something that's, nothing wrong with it. It's very good. But if your priorities are suffering, then some of these things you just need to at least temporarily get rid of. And there might be another list of things that you should permanently get rid of because it's not good for your health or good for anything. It's just a bad habit. Who knows? Only you can decide that and make that judgment. And so if today is the first day of the rest of your life and you treat it like that, and you draw a line in the sand and you jump over that line with both feet, not one foot or the other foot, but with both feet, with a lot of vigor and vibrato, and start lining up all of your actions with all of your priorities, then that can reshape the trajectory for the rest of your life. And maybe now there's a trajectory you're happy about. And maybe that trajectory looks so good to you, and you got a goal that is so awesome and so meaningful to you that it gives you the energy and the stamina to show up every day to do what you need to do to give life to your priorities, so that your priorities don't have to continuously suffer year after year after year. So maybe it's what you're eating. You need to swap out the bad food for healthy food. Maybe it's you're not exercising at all, and you could swap out TV time for exercise time. Maybe you're financially struggling and there's no job that's going to help you, so you need to be a business owner, get into a small business, and start putting your time into that instead of the television or whatever it might be that is not lining up with your priorities, because there was no line to be drawn between that activity and your priorities. There's all kinds of things that are going to open up to you if you're honest with yourself in that little homework assignment. And if you jump over that line with both feet instead of just one foot in the future and one timidly tucked into the past, skip that. Do it with some balls or some big brass ovaries if you're female. And you could be surprised where you end up a year from now, 5 years, 10 years from now. So today is the first day of the rest of your life. The best time to get started was yesterday, but that's gone. So the second best time is today. The worst time is tomorrow. Tomorrow is always a day away. Procrastinating is the cornerstone of all poverties. So forget tomorrow. That's for losers that are never going to do it anyway. So don't be a loser. Your life, your family, or who knows what's in your circle kind of depends on it. You know what I mean? So you can do it. Surround yourself with cheerleaders that encourage you to do it. And don't spend so much energy and time with people that are okay with you just letting your priorities suffer. No, be around people that want you to grow and people who believe you deserve happiness with thriving priorities. Okay? And I'm certainly one of your cheerleaders for sure, even if I don't know you. All right, if you've enjoyed this, you can help me out a lot by going over to my YouTube, if you're not already there, and liking these videos if you sincerely like them, and subscribing to my channel and commenting, because those activities will help me with the algorithms on YouTube, and YouTube will put my content in front of the eyeballs of more people. Sound cool? I appreciate that very much, and I hope you got something really valuable out of this video. Bye for now. Mwah. My next video coming soon. Feel free to share this and put this out there.